Good morning. Let's start the daily discussion topic regarding it. Topic tax evasion. World Tax Evasion Report 2020 arising from World Tax Evasion Report, which was released recently by European Union Tax Observatory. Who released it? Released by the European Union Tax Observatory. Remember this? Who released this Global Tax Evasion Report? European Union Tax Observatory released the Global Tax Evasion Report. Highlights a number of important issues: tax evasion, the global minimum tax (GMT) on billionaires, and countermeasures. The report examines the result of global reform implemented over the previous 10 years. Among other things, examines the international agreement on global minimum tax. What? The global minimum tax (GMT) on multinational companies and automatic international exchange of bank information. Fine. So the report examines the result of global reforms implemented in the previous 10 years. Among other things, it examines the international agreement on global tax and the automatic international exchange of bank information. Fine. What is tax evasion? Tax evasion tax evasion is the unlawful practice of failing to pay taxes due to the government, but to unlawful practice of failing to pay the taxes to government by under-reporting income. How it is? Tax is not paid to the government by under-reporting the income or earning of the people. Inflating deductions, concealing asset in foreign country, or using other dishonest strategies. All illegal methods. These all illegal methods of tax evasion. So many approaches are adopted by us to evade the tax. Evade the tax. So this is under reporting taxes from one country to another, or inflating deductions, through reporting or under reporting income. All these resulted in lower tax payment or tax evasion, paying less than what is due from a person. It is called as tax evasion. Then intentional and illegal attempt to distort or withhold financial information in order to lower tax obligation. But it is an intentional and illegal attempt. This attempt is made intentionally and illegally. So to distort or withhold financial information in order to pay lower taxes. What international reforms are in place to stop tax evasion? The first is the global minimum tax. So the GMT or global minimum tax, specified corporate income base, is subjected to standard minimum tax rate across the globe. The Organization of Economic Development (OECD) created a proposal that called for a corporate minimum tax proceeds profits of big multinational corporations, bring in an additional 150 billion in tax revenue. How much? Additional 150 billion in tax revenue for the countries. But international reforms are in place to stop tax evasion. Global minimum tax, an effort to make it more difficult for multinational companies to evade taxes. 136 nations agreed to a minimum global tax rate percent on them in October 2021. By lowering tax rate that lead to corporate by lowering tax rate that lead to corporate profit and tax base erosion. The global minimum tax framework strengthened countries engaging in the tax information exchange to combat wealth individuals also tax evasion. Information exchange automatically was implemented in 2017 around the world. Aspect of this stand out obstacle in stopping offshore tax evasion. For the previous 10 years, there is a decline in offshore tax evasion. So 25% of the world's wealth is now untaxed compared to 10% in 1930 when it was held in tax havens. Tax havens, so is need to be clarified. What do you mean by the international tax havens? Tax havens are run by some country who allow their financial to run without following international banking and financial rules and regulations. tax rate that is equivalent to 0% because shell company are the false companies often avoid paying income taxes. The effective tax rate wealth of billionaires worldwide. Billionaires pay no tax at all. Swiss billionaires only 0.5% of their wealth in tax limited target is popularly known as tax evasion. All European, American, and all other world try to multinational companies profit shifting. In 2022, multinational corporations transport approximately that around $1 trillion, okay, or 33% of their profit paid outside their home countries to tax havens. The research explored the practice of greenwashing, the global minimum tax in which multinational corporations can lower their tax rate significantly by utilizing green tax credits or low carbon transition. The significance of policy decisions, wealth concealment, profit tax havens, and tax evasion are not inevitable outcomes, rather, they are the product of decisions made about policy or failure to make input. In order to create sustainable tax system, necessary to assess the effect of tax policy and make improvement. Suggested actions. The report suggests a global minimum tax rate of 2% of billionaires' wealth as a means of encouraging action. Put in place system to tax affluent individual who decide to relocate to tax nation after being long-term resident of it. Governments around the world view this as a crucial step towards rising revenue, addressing wealth equality, and financing infrastructure, healthcare, and education. Change the international corporation tax agreement to 2% rate and eliminate any loopholes that encourage tax competition. The event that international agreement on these matters fall through, take unilateral action to recover a portion of tax deficit owed by billionaires multinationals. Make progress towards establishing global asset more effectively combat tax evasion. Strengthening the implementation of anti-abuse and economic substance regulation. What distinguishes wealth tax from taxes? Income taxes are levied on the flow from the wealth stock. Wealth tax are assessed on the wealth stock or on the total amount of net wealth that a taxpayer owns. Illustration of a wealth tax on time or infrequently assessed wealth tax include inheritance and estate. Wealth tax is what is inherited, what is given as gift, or what is owned as estate. So illustration, these are the illustration of wealth tax. Which government are in place for tax evasion? Online billing. So online billing after 2018 concerning offences when a person take a loan and leave the country without making any payment. So he is called a figure in law, and his asset can be seized and red corner arrest warrant can be issued to the Interpol to arrest him. And black money on this foreign income and asset and tax act 2015. So in conclusion, it can be said these initiatives represent a global effort to address tax evasion and promote greater transparency. However, the effectiveness of these reforms depends on the willingness of countries to them and collaborate with one another. Tax evasion remains a complex issue and new challenges continue to emerge as tax laws and practices evolve the period. Next is disaster management, next topic. So interconnected disaster risk report 2023, major findings and its major drivers. Why in the interconnected disaster risk report just released has brought attention to how interdependent the world is and each warning of deep point and emphasizing the urgent need to forward potential disasters outcome of any disaster, man-made or natural disaster. the interconnected disaster risk, but the interconnected findings, the United Nations University for Environmental and Human Security published the event connected report every year, which is a science-based report that is published in 2021, and this is also published in 2023. The report examines a number of specific instances of disasters that occur each year and explores the connections between them and human behavior. The paper provides example of how simple system can progressively evolve until a critical point each can have disastrous outcome. It presents the idea of risk points, the point at which society, social ecological system are more vulnerable to catastrophic events and can no longer withstand hazard. The academic branch of the event, known as the United Nations University, serves as a global think tank. The Institute for Environment and Human Society Security is dedicated to the art research on adoption and risk associated with environmental hazards and global change. The German city of Bonn is home to the institute. Tipping points paper, 6 environmental tipping points are about to occur globally. Depletion of groundwater. For 2 billion people depend on groundwater stored in aquifers and nevertheless, the depletion of main aquifers worldwide is outpacing the replenishment. Since aquifer water is practically non-renewable, it frequently took thousands of years to collect. Certain places, such as Saudi Arabia, over extraction has led to depletion of over 80% of the aquifer. Security hampered by the reliance on imported crops. By 2025, the entire northwest region of India is predicted to have extreme groundwater availability. Some sections of the Indo-Gangetic basin have already passed the critical point of groundwater depletion because excessive drawing from the groundwater for agriculture. Depletion for 2 billion people depend on the groundwater stored in aquifer, 70%. And by 2025, the northeast have extreme restriction on water availability, with some sections of the Indo-Gangetic basin having already passed groundwater depletion. Species climate change, overexploitation, changes in the land use are some of the human caused factors that have accelerated the because of human involvement. Rates today are hundreds of times higher than they used to. System collapse may result from an catalyst for the sea. Melting mountain glaciers, although glaciers are a source of water, global warming is causing them to melt twice as quickly. Glaciers lost 267 gigatons of ice annually, 1000 and 2009. Even with modest warming, it is predicted that by 2100, the next it will have lost about 50% glaciers. More than 90,000 glaciers in the Karakoram and Himalaya regions are in danger, endangering the lives of around 87 million people depend upon them and their water. Space debris, although satellites for safety, communication is monetary, and increasing number of satellites in the orbit is creating a space debris issue. Unique right now. So there is just 25% of the object in the orbit that are functioning satellites. Reminders are inoperable junk. Only 25%. 75% present are junk. There are roughly 130 billion teeny fragments on trackable dust. These fast-moving objects create a dangerous orbital environment by endangering operating satellites through regions. They collide with the operating satellites, completely damage the operating. Unbearable heat, deadly heat waves are becoming increasingly often due to climate change. That humid and high temperature hinder the body's down. The wet bulb temperature can cause brain damage and organ failure if stay above 35 degrees centigrade for more than 6 hours. Such already happened in cities like Jacobabad. Additionally, wet bulb temperature in India during the peak of 2020 exceeds degrees centigrade. By 2100, more than 70% population predicted impacted by this. Uninsurable the 1970s, the previous weather events have caused damages to increase sevenfold. An estimated USD 313 billion in losses by 2020. Climate change is driving up in premiums, making coverage unaffordable for high risk locations are losing insurance, which makes them uninsurance. Yes, heightened fraud risk might render roughly 5 to 5 lakh thousand plus property uninsurable by 2030. Company will not insure this property because they are coming through calamities and incurring losses. So, no insurance company will come forward to insure them. Interconnectedness tipping points are frequently caused by climate change, fueled by rising. This covers things like melting glaciers, severe weather, and changes in the insurance risk department. These interrelated environmental problems have feedback loop that increase the demand for disaster insurance, exacerbate coastal floods, and rise sea level glacier. These tipping moments ultimately have important socio-economic damage. The primary issue causes of rising disaster risk, rapid urbanization occur frequently, the absence of planning and infrastructure development. More people and property are exposed to dangers such as flood and earthquakes. A city grow increasing catastrophic. Deforestation, soil erosion, and pollution degrade natural ecosystem. Potential to act as disaster buffers. The effect of hazards are exacerbated by environmental degradation. Inadequate and inefficient infrastructure. During disasters, inadequate built or maintained infrastructure such as bridges, buildings, and roads can collapse, resulting in major economic and social losses. Inadequate land use planning. Poor land use planning can lead to community settling high risk areas such as floodplains or wildfire prone zone. This relates to increased vulnerability because they are migrating to different areas. inadequate land use planning and water management issues. Poor water resources management can result in droughts, scarcity, and flooding. Challenges are far-reaching for economies and communities. Worldwide interconnectedness, as the world become more connected, levels in one place can have worldwide consequences. This connection has the potential to economic disaster. What solution does the report recommend to mitigate disaster risk? United interconnected disaster risk by a four category structure to classify and prioritize disaster. Avoid delay. These are actions that seek to put down disasters using approach. Example: strong construction and use regulation can help to avoid catastrophic disaster damage. Avoid transformation. The efforts aim to prevent disasters by radically altering how things are done. Transmitting from fossil fuel based energy production to renewable energy sources such as solar and wind hazards connected. Climate change is one example. Adapt delay. These efforts prepare us for calamity by providing us with additional time to respond. For example, enhance early warning system for a tsunami could provide time to evacuate and prepare for the calamity. Adapt transform. These steps entail making adjustment how we do in order to adapt to disaster. Implementing coastal zone rules and rebuilding natural barrier habitats and groups are an example of how to adapt increasing sea levels and transform techniques. Disaster risk reduction initiative 2050 Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. The CREWS climate risk and energy early warning system. 13th of October is Day. Sectoral guide on climate information early warning system from the Green Climate Fund. And Indian initiative includes CTRIS, stands for Coalition for Disaster Resilient Society, National Disaster Management Plan, the NDRS, National Disaster Response Force. Since risks are interconnected, so since risks are interconnected, a potential solution, therefore, the report gets over which we can make to our behavior and values that could transform the way we use the system, reduce overall risk towards zero waste, a closer connection to nature, global cooperation, and trust. Migration outlook. Organization for Economic Development released the 20 days of the international migration outlook. Permanent migration to OECD nations increased by 26% compared to 20. Family migration remained the primary category entrance for new permanent type migrants, accounting for 40% of the total permanent type migrants. Venezuela, Cuba, Afghanistan, and Nicaragua were the main origin countries for asylum seekers in migrant mothers experience a disadvantage, a 20% employment rates in immigrant and native born mothers. India saw the highest migration to OECD. In 2020, India replaced China as the primary source of new migrant to OECD country. In terms of nationalities, 0.13 million Indians workers migrating from India, Uzbekistan, and Turkey increased dramatically, making them the leading country of the in uptake. So, about Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD). Okay, OECD is an intergovernmental organization, 8 member countries, majority of which are rich industrial nations, attract migrant laborers and students. It was founded in 1961 to support economic progress and world trade. The Organization of Development (OECD) was established in 1947 to manage American and Canadian aid under the auspices. OECD is headquartered in Paris in France. And the Lemuru Elephant Corridor, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has granted sectors plea to denotify coal mines on the Lemuru Elephant Corridor. Lemuru is one of the 2 elephant reserves in the other is Padalkot and Tamporigula, and is part of the Hasideo Aryan Forest, the Korbat district. Proposed to prevent human and conflict in the region by relocating elephants from Odisha and Jharkhand to this serve as part of elephant corridor which connects the Lemru, that Badrakul and Tamparafinga. Importance of the region: elephants are found in 5 divisions of the state. But Chhattisgarh is home to about 2 elephants. For the last 20 years, more than 150 elephants have died throughout the state. About elephant are the largest and land mammals and key. Their nomadic behavior, the daily and seasonal migration they make through their home ranges is immensely important to the environment. Asian elephant maximum index, they inhabit dry to wet forest and grassland habitats in range countries, spanning south and southeast. IUCN status: endangered on the IUCN red list of threatened species, listed in the Appendix 1 of the Convention on Migratory Species. African elephant, the Doxodonta cyclotis, 2 savanna or bush and the forest elephant. IUCN status: African forest elephant, critically endangered, African savanna elephant. The next topic is first ever data dashboard on desertification. United Nations Convention of to Combat Desertification released its first ever data dashboard. Collects national reporting data from 127 nations, demonstrating that land degradation is spreading at an alarming rate across all areas around the globe. Every year, first ever data dashboard on desertification. United Nations Convention on Desertification ever data dashboard. It collects national reporting data from 126 nations, demonstrating that land degradation is spreading at an alarming rate across all areas. Every year between 2019, healthy and productive land were degraded. 9.45% of India's reported land area brought hit. Reported land area and 36.8% of the India's land area. Between the most severe degradation occurs in East as well as Latin America and the Caribbean. Land degradation is defined as the deterioration of or loss of soil productivity capacity in the present. For 2030, 109 countries have set voluntary land degradation neutrality targets. The land degradation neutrality is a condition in which the quantity and quality of land resources required to support ecosystem activity and services that improve food security remain stable or increase. India's initiative for land degradation. India has signed on to the voluntary Boon Challenge for to million hectares damage and deforested land by 20. For a state to state by state area of degraded land, the desertification and land degradation, yeah, which is the issue. The UN Convention on Combat Desertification, established in 1994, is the only legally binding framework set up to address desertification and effects of drought. Member are 197 parties to the convention, and parties and European Union. India is signatory to the United Nations Convention on Combat Desertification, Ministry of Environment, Forests, Climate Change, that oversees of connection in country headquartered in Germany. The Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relation. 'New Zealand criticized India's demand for 41 Canadian diplomats to leave, referred to that Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. The convention was signed in 1960 and currently has 193 parties. 90 parties. So it puts forth framework for diplomatic interaction. So it specifies the function of diplomatic missions. It specifies on privileges accorded to diplomats and their guarantee free communication and its states. So as India has done this, so it has been criticized. 25 by 25 target, according to one analyst by the Indian Council of Research, India will likely be 25 by 25 target. 25 by 25 target was set by World Health Organization and United Nations. Target natural mortality of 4 non-common diseases by 2025 compared to 2010. 4 major non-common cancer, cardiovascular disease, chronic respiratory disease, and diabetes. Natural mortality NDC to decrease by 39% from 2030 to 2025 in nutrient-based subsidy in agriculture. Okay, so the cabinet has approved the nutrient-based subsidy rates for phosphate fertilizer for the Rabi season 2024. The subsidy on potassic and that phosphate fertilizer of rupees 1,304 is valid from October 1st, 2023 to March 31st for the Rabi season. Since April 1st, then phosphoric and potassic fertilizer subsidy have been administered by the NBS subsidy, a central sector scheme under the Ministry of Agriculture. The objective is to improve agricultural output, the competition among fertilizer company, and minimize the burden of subsidy. On one annual basis, the center offers a remunerated rate of subsidy rupees per kg of nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. Additionally, micronutrients such as boron and zinc are subsidized. At present, 25 grades of this K fertilizers and nitrogen, potassium, and sulfur complex fertilizer are covered under the scheme. Urea does not come under the benefit of NBS. Restore soil health by adding nutrient balance of NPK, lack of micronutrients on soil, moisture conditions, and crop needs. Improve growth of indigenous fertilizer industry. The Rabi crop are soon and harvested in the spring. The popular Rabi crop is barley, mustard, cabbage, bean, linseed, flour, etc. Then come to the question: examine how the ongoing Israel-Hamas war affect India's economy, energy security, and foreign policy. The prolonged confrontation Israel and Hamas has major repercussions on energy security and foreign policy. India maintains close ties with both Israel and Palestine, as well as other countries in the region like Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Turkey. Oil imports account for 80% of India's overall consumption. With this need, India is primarily dependent on the Middle East oil supply. So the likely consequences of conflict for India includes commercial relations. The crisis escalates, it will have an impact on India's commerce with Israel, particularly in vital areas such as defense. Israel is a major provider of goods to India. Any disruption in trading connection on the finance. Not difficulties. India has generally pursued a balance towards Israel and Arab countries. The crisis intensifies and other Arab countries join in. India may face diplomatic difficulties, balancing connections while having relations with Arab countries may become more. Economic and strategic ties with the Middle East. India's economic and ties with the grow in importance in light of efforts India's economic and strategic ties with the Middle East have grown in importance, especially in light of the Middle East economic corridor. If the conflict escalates and helps other regional and Iran, have the potential to destabilize the Western area. Energy availability. The Western region is an important source of for India. Any interruption in the region's stability have an energy supply, resulting in economic issue. Indian expatriate welfare. India has a sizable expatriate working in various nations. The dispute escalates, the welfare and safety of the Indian people may be jeopardized, and India will be intervene to ensure its protection. India's foreign policy should take into account a variety of issues and interests. However, here are some suggestions. Maintain the two-state solution. As in the past, India should the two Israel and Palestine in accordance with the UN resolutions and international. Continue strategic partnership. India should maintain collaboration with Iran in defense, counter-terrorism, and technology in order to strengthen security, development, and relation with nations as the United States, United Arab, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. Use diplomatic influence. India can use diplomatic relation. Okay, diplomatic influence to promote dialogue and humanitarian Gaza, Israel, and its diaspora. Partnership with other stakeholders to handle the issue. India should seek partnership with Jordan, Turkey, Russia, China, European Union, as well as leverage its council position and non-aligned movement leadership to promote peace. Conclusion: it is in India's best interest to have the war resolved peacefully and the region restored to stability. India should utilize its diplomatic clout and will to encourage both parties to stay moderation and re-engage in. India should also work with other regional and entities to coordinate humanitarian aid and prevent additional harm. Fine. From the MCQ, following statement about the migration outlook 2020. The international migration outlook was released by the International Organization for Migration, that is wrong, because the migration report was released by the OECD. Okay. So it has the highest migration to organization of development countries. Two is right, but one is incorrect. So Long Valley caldera recently used located B. So the following statement regarding the tardigrades. The tardigrades are tiny eight-legged animals, right? They cannot survive in extreme conditions, harsh environment, wrong. They are found only in aquatic environment, wrong. So only one is correct. So the Agumbi Rainforest Complex, known as high rainfall state, Karnataka. Then consider the following statement regarding the pink diamond. Pink diamonds are found as a result of the breakup of the Earth's first supercontinent, the Valvara, through intense geological forces like colliding plates that cause their crystal lattice and bend. Diamonds get their distinct color due to impurities like nitrogen or boron in the crystal lattice diamond. Acrylic that Acrylic diamond mine in Western Australia was one of the primary sources of the pink diamonds. Five only two are correct, three is incorrect. Then consider the following statement regarding the insurance development of India, IRDA. Insurance development of India is just everybody which correct. Which under the RBI no. It tasked with licensing the insurance and reinsurance industry in India. 1 and 3 are correct. So consider the following statement regarding the history background of the women's reservation. Government of India Act 1935 provides reservation for what is correct. Issue discussed in the constitution, right? The sectors amendment constitution, all states government will 1 3 are correct. Following statement in the code, it is commonly called code. Is right. It is the code of last system of genocide and crimes against humanity. Okay, right? It doesn't have the capacity to arrest suspects of war crimes. 1 and 2 are correct. 2 are correct. It is located southern bank of river Brahmaputra in Assam. The declared reserve forest in 1971 and wildlife sanctuary. It's home to highest population Brahmaputra River offers a natural boundary to the sanctuary on the north, while the Karanga Bill offers a boundary to the south. So, each the description is for the Pavitro wildlife sanctuary. Then consider the following treatment: the civil union. Civil union is similar to a marriage, like legal sanction given to some sex. Civil union resembles a marriage and deals with employment, inheritance, and parental rights. Here, both the statements are correct.